Welcome to CrossTalk, your 7th Plymouth District edition with State Representative Alyson Sullivan, who joins us. Representative, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Kevin. How are you?
We're doing great. And knowing that here we are, we're cruising through the month of April. And I believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but I think we'll have a little more clarity at the end of our conversation.
Yeah.
Hearing things from you and you sharing some of the things that you've been seeing in and around the district. Just to start off, what's the latest from up on Beacon Hill? What's new?
We're just preparing for a sense of getting everyone kind of open to the vaccine process and making sure we're having everything up to date. The pre-registration, I think, is working out very well when it comes to the vaccine appointments, something that we're seeing a positive trend with, other than, previously with the registration and the different shortcomings that were coming from that. So we're seeing progress there, which is always a good thing. And then now it's in full swing. Committee hearings are being assigned. Committees have been assigned, and we know where we're standing there. And now it's just kind of the goings of it. So we're excited that things are kind of starting to look a little bit more like normal.
For this legislative session, any changes to some of the committees that you sit on? Anything new, or is it basically the same?
Yep. So the same as obviously the judiciary, which I sat on last year. Mental health and substance abuse code is another one I sat on. Now I'm the ranking member. I've also now had the opportunity to sit on the children's, families and persons with disabilities, which I'm very excited about this session. It's going to be a very busy session. And the House Post Audit and Oversight Committee, which is another one that I look forward to sitting on as well.
Okay. You had mentioned about the clinics. I believe that you yourself have been a volunteer and have assisted at the clinics in your district. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. So Abington, I've had the opportunity to volunteer several times at the clinic in Abington. Being able to see so many familiar faces, even if it's, behind those masks, it's been an opportunity that I've been so delighted to have. We actually just had one recently where I invited Lieutenant Governor down to come see, and it was a big one that we had. I think it was roughly almost 300 people that they got their second doses, and it was the educators in the community, in the surrounding community. So that was a very important second dose clinic that we were able to kind of share the experience with the Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito.
How important is it that you're able to get a member of the administration down here to see this is local works. This is what we're doing. This is what we're seeing. And knowing the Lieutenant Governor, she's not somebody who just will shake her head a lot, but she'll ask questions.
Oh, she asks those good questions. She wants to know what's going on, what we're seeing here locally, what kind of questions are being asked locally, what kind of concerns they're having. She's from local government, right? That's where she started out. And so she was eager to come down to the district. I think there was kind of two causes for her to come down, be able to come down and thank the volunteers and see some of the, people within the community that are getting their second shot and seeing how they're feeling, how excited they are, and also to really praise the individuals that have been working tirelessly day in and day out for the past year during this pandemic, and thank them for what they've done. To bring up the spirits in the local communities. I think it's important that we continue to do and recognize the hard work of our, health director, Marty Golightly, our, public health nurse, Lindsay Wright, and the many, many volunteers in our Abington Fire Department and the great work that they do, and Justin, being able to get, local people vaccinated. So having Lieutenant Governor down was, very, very nice. Unfortunately, it may have been like the last, quote unquote, last clinic, but we're hoping that it's not, fingers crossed. But however, it was important for, I think, her to come down and be able to thank everybody and see the community.
How assuring is it for you as an elected official, as a state representative, to know that she once sat in the House and was a member in the House before, climbing the ladder?
Yeah, she knows what it's like. She doesn't forget where she comes from. She's very humble. She's very down to earth. She's somebody that believes in improving on certain things. And so I think her coming to the district is, twofold, right? She gets to see what the local boards of health are capable of doing in case we're ever needing to rely on them again. And she's able to see people she hasn't been able to see in, quite a bit of time because of a pandemic. And she's such a people person. She's great. She was excited, and she was in great spirits coming down to the district. So we very much appreciate that.
And so that wasn't one all-star that showed up. I believe another well-known individual who once held your seat actually stopped by to get a shot too. You want to share with the audience?
Yep. So my father came in for his second shot. So that was a very exciting day for us as well. So my father, like I've said before, held the 7th Plymouth district years and years ago when it was Abington, Holbrook, and Whitman. And I currently sit in the same seat that he sat in the House chamber. I unfortunately haven't sat in that seat in a very long time because of a pandemic, but it's definitely an experience. And right before the pandemic hit, Curtis and I actually moved into my father's old office. So it's kind of funny how everything falls in the places that they fall in,
Yeah, just think of the nostalgia. I would wonder what he would say if he'd pop on up to the State House to visit you and see what the things look like since he was there.
Yeah. He says it hasn't changed, which says a lot. But very proud father moment on his part.
What would you say in closing in regards to the Lieutenant Governor? What do you feel that she walked away with for information that's going to be helpful for your district and for the South Shore?
I think she walked away with seeing how great of a production we have at the Abington Clinic. She also walked away with hearing from constituents who were eager and excited to see familiar faces while getting their vaccine because of their nerves or their uncertainty around the vaccine. So I think she walked away with that understanding of how important it is that we remember that, yeah, these mass vaccine sites are great because they get out mass numbers, right? But there's still that great population where there's people that are unsure, uncertain, and seeing familiar faces kind of puts them at ease. And she recognizes that.
Hold on one second.
You're on mute.
Sorry, that was Sandy, and I guess the dog had good. She just showed up, and the dog, who remember the two dogs?
Yep.
Somehow just walked into the kitchen with my other dog. So I don't know how that happened, but all right. So we're gonna pick right up.
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. So in closing, I would ask you, what do you feel? Did I ask you about how she felt about? Okay. 3, 2. So what's even more interesting is that she had a chance to meet someone that you actually nominated for Unsung Heroine, correct?
Yes, Lindsay Wright, who's a phenomenal person. Words really can't describe the above and beyond she's gone for this community, and to advocate as tirelessly and strong. She's somebody that Abington is blessed to have in their corner advocating on their behalf.
It seemed like it was an easy choice to pick Lindsay because of all the hard work. I'm sure if you could, you would probably nominate as many people as you could in the health.
I would. I have a long list that it's like, you go through and you try to weigh all the situations that have happened the past year, right? And the great women that are in our community. And there's just a lengthy list. But I've recognized, working alongside Lindsay, the hard work that she's put into her position. She came in as a part-time health nurse and excelled in that position, where working far beyond her 35 hours that she works on paper per se, and she's day in and day out, consistently answering questions when I've had them. I know answering questions when constituents have had them surrounding the vaccine. So she's just great.
What do you feel as far as this particular situation with COVID? Here we are, we're cruising into a second year. Do you, as an individual, somebody who are up to your hips in dealing with not only with constituents but your family, just like anybody else, do you feel that there is a true light at the end of the tunnel, or do you have concerns?
I do. Obviously you're going to have concerns with everything. There's still that unknown, lingering factor in your head, in your mind, in your thought process. But I do believe the light's at the end of the tunnel. We're seeing, a very great progress when it comes to hospitalizations. We might see an uptick in numbers, but we're seeing less and less people being severely hospitalized, and death rates are changing. I do worry about the different kind of strands that are coming in, and the uncertainty around those. But I think we as individuals have figured out ways to protect ourselves, protect our loved ones, and to protect our community so that we hopefully are never put in this place again. And I think, we've seen so many people hit hard, whether it be directly by COVID or the shutdowns of COVID. And to hope that we don't have to kind of go backwards is something that I hope for. And I'm very hopeful that we don't have to. We're seeing more and more things open up, people following the rules and the guidelines, and still being able to continue moving forward is definitely a positive trend.
Well, let's talk financially just for a moment. I know that here we are, we're coming into the budget season for the House.
Yep.
Are you prepared for that? Have you heard any early numbers? And are you ready for it?
So, we're obviously, this is going to be amendment filing week. We're working on those. We're drafting those up. We're making sure that we're ready to go and filing all the home rule amendments in the sense of the outside sections. And then, of course, looking at other parts of the budget and figuring out ways to improve on that budget. Obviously, we're going to be advocating for more local aid. And when it comes to Chapter 70 funding, because of the areas being hit so hard, obviously we're getting a bonus where the federal government is stepping in and kind of helping out where the states might have shortfalls with some COVID relief and funding in that way. But we still need to do a lot when it comes to our communities and making sure we're fully funding at least baseline of what we had last year, if not continue to increase. Because what we're seeing with the pandemic is there's still a lot of improvements on a lot of different districts when it comes to schooling and making sure that our schools are prepared in case they ever have to go back into the same kind of situation.
And interesting enough, talking about finances, I believe that you were on a little bit of a tour in your district not too long ago as there were checks distributed, a CARES Act funding through Plymouth County.
Yep. So we had Abington and East Bridgewater recently. Whitman's received, I believe, a couple as well. So it's definitely helped on certain aspects of the shortfalls that we've had from the pandemic. But of course, nothing will get us back to the way we were before until we're fully back open and people are able to be back working, and less people are depending on the unemployment system and things of that nature.
Representative, anything we haven't touched upon in our discussion here, but you want to make sure that you do discuss for a couple of moments in regards to your work since the last time we chatted?
I think, I'm trying to think what is kind of going on right now. I'm looking forward to committee hearings as they're being scheduled and put out there. As far as locally, we're hopefully going to have a regional site more localized to the district, which would be something that would have great opportunities for people once it's completely opened up for vaccines for everybody. So we're hoping that goes through. Unfortunately, it all depends on our federal counterparts to make sure we get the vaccines here, because we can't have these sites unless we have vaccines to distribute. So the hope is that we get as many people vaccinated that want to get vaccinated and we can get back to normal as soon as possible.
And if folks want to reach out to you or Curtis, your aide, how can they do that if they have anything they need to discuss with you?
Our best way right now is through email, just because we're still in a remote setting. So I encourage people to email either Curtis or I. Curtis, also monitors my email. So feel free to email my email, which is alyson.sullivan@mahouse.gov. You can find it on the state website, or Curtis's email, which is curtis.boucher@mahouse.gov. So that is the best and the most efficient way to get in contact with us right now.
Representative, we want to thank you for joining us for a few moments and always giving us time to be able to keep your constituents, the district, up to speed as to what's going on up at the State House.
Yes, and Kevin, I'm looking forward to this summer, with the ice cream tour hopefully back in full swing. I went to Cream the other night and I thought to myself, watch, I'm gonna post this picture on Facebook and somebody's gonna ask if I'm doing my ice cream tour again. So I look forward to it this summer. Last summer we had a little bit between the COVID and my accident, but I'm looking forward to really seeing this district and seeing what great restaurants and dessert places we have.
On tour with the representative. I can see it now. A new food show.
Yes.
Well, we thank you very much for joining us. And we thank you for tuning in to this program, CrossTalk 7th Plymouth District. Until next time, have a great day.